I know my chance with her is blown, well, my mouth gets carried away. I'm tongue-tied, tongue-tied, tongue-tied.
What up, IDS Mob? HarryWilmington here, and today's topic is I've never had any woman show me signs of interest ever. And there was a guy that left a comment in response to a recent video I did called Women Chase Men When They Have High Interest, Here's Proof. And in that video, I gave numerous examples of women who had commented about how they were so highly interested in their man that they did various things to be able to get him. And so this guy's kind of upset because he's saying that these kind of videos make him upset because he's never had women show these kind of signs, and basically he doesn't know what to do about that. And so I'm going to respond to this because I think that it's an important lesson for guys to know, and it shows the power of what can happen when you're either not aware or really down on yourself about your dating life, all right? By the way, guys, this show is all about you, so if you have any questions you'd like me to answer on one of these shows, write to me at HarryWilmington@gmail.com or leave a comment down below. Also, if you want one-on-one coaching, you can go to the website introvertdatingsuccess.com and click on the coaching tab to set up a one-on-one phone consultation. All right, so let's get into this guy's thing. So here's the comment he left. He said, when I see these types of videos, and there are many, all it does is convince me it's never gonna happen. I've never had any signs of any woman showing any signs of being interested in me ever, in like caps and exclamation points. All these videos are to me are a long list of things that will never happen to me. Well, first off, I want to say I really feel bad that that's your state of mind, and I don't live your life personally, so I don't know how you got to that point in your life where you're so down on yourself that women aren't approaching you or showing interest in the way that you'd like them to. All right. So, but I do want to give like a little bit of a caveat, which is I was in the same boat. When I was in my late teens and early 20s, you know, I was still a virgin. I had only had one girlfriend at the age of 15. So when I got to college, I still didn't have a girlfriend because I had that girlfriend for like 2 weeks when I was 15. And just based on where I went to high school and the fact that I was a minority there, I was one of like 12 black kids in a school of 356 white people. I wasn't like the cream of the crop guy when it came to getting dates. Not to say that they were like color biased, because my brother was able to get dates, but I didn't really have good social skills. I was an introvert, and you know, I got called weird a lot as a kid. And so because of all that, what people aren't aware of is that over time, we can start to believe the things about ourselves that other people are telling us. So I got told I was weird, I was strange, I was a different kind of kid a lot, to where I just assumed that that's just how I was, and therefore no girls would like me. So I go to college with this same mentality now, and I'm around a bevy of hot, fine, beautiful women all over campus, and it's a large number of women. The ratio for women to men was a lot higher, and yet I couldn't get a date or a girlfriend to save my life. Now, at the time, I just thought it was just because I was just a weird guy, and people would think I was strange. But if I look back in hindsight, one, I wasn't actively doing enough to put myself out there to really show women that I was interested. But also, because my lens of the world was that people are going to find me weird and strange, and that therefore women aren't going to like me, I didn't even have in my brain a box that said, these are signs to look for that indicate women actually like you. And so a few years ago, I had a woman friend of mine that I went to college with, moved out to LA for like a year and a half. And during that time, when we were hanging out, she mentioned to me, hey, you know, by the way, like there were a lot of women in college that actually had a crush on you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she's like, yeah, because freshman year, I would consistently go to the girls' dorm to hang out. And I got to know the RA there pretty well. And she was an upperclassman, so I wasn't trying to get with her, but we were just cool hanging out. But yeah, I had this friend that was like, yeah, you would come over all the time, and there would be girls that would be there like, you know, gossiping about you and saying that, you know, they wanted to, you know, they thought you were really handsome and cute, and they wanted to know if you had a girlfriend and what your situation was, and they really wanted like to go with you. But I wasn't putting myself out there. I wasn't asking women out. I would hang out with girls, and if I'm looking back, there were probably times that these women were giving me signals that they thought maybe I'd read into as they're interested. And again, because I had the blinder on that women are just not going to be interested in me, I didn't take any of those signals in as signs that women liked me. And it wasn't until I thought about a couple of situations that I had with women who were friends of mine where I was just like, oh crap, I could have actually got with that girl if I just had more confidence and was more aware about the actual reality of the situation. And see, sometimes as guys, we can get stuck in our own reality. So we're thinking that the world thinks of us one way, and so we're now viewing ourselves that way, and that is now the only reality that exists. So if you're walking around thinking, man, I'm a little out of shape, or I don't know how to socialize, so just no girls are gonna like me, well then, your lens of the world is not going to be looking for signals from women that indicate that they like you. Meanwhile, you could have women all around you throwing out a variety of signals that you just don't know are signals that indicate they like you. Now, if you need help with knowing what some of those signals are, you can sign up for my Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy, and we have various audios and programs that'll talk to you about some of the things that women will do. But a lot of women's game is subtle. It's like these small glances. It's looking at you for like 5 seconds and like turning away, then looking back, and that's the signal. Or she walks next to you like really, really close to where she bumps into you by accident. That's her signal. And most dudes aren't going to get these signals. So one of the problems you could be having is that you simply just don't know what the signals are that women may be throwing you passively that would indicate that they're at the very least open to the idea of you approaching them, okay? So keep that in mind, that could just very well be, that means you need to work on your self-esteem, you need to work on how your lens of the world is eschewing the fact that there are women out there legitimately throwing you signals. So that's one possibility. The other legitimate possibility is maybe you aren't the guy that is good socially with women, or maybe you're a guy that's a little out of shape and you don't have a fashion sense, and therefore, yeah, you're not getting any signals because women are generally not interested in you because you're not signaling out to them things that they would value and want in a partner that they would find attractive enough to want to come near you, okay? Or to want to show you signals. In which case, you got self-work to do. Because here's the thing. What I don't like is when men come onto these platforms and just complain about women and say they're all crazy, they don't ever show interest, and blah, 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 blah. Because you can complain all day, but how does that get you women? And if you're trying to legitimately get a woman to like you, you have one or two options. You can try to complain about it and hope that some woman comes along and says, you're complaining about women, well, I'm gonna be different and show you wrong and I'm gonna like you. But the probability of that happening is like 1% to like 99. So the other option then is to do a few things. One is to, like I said earlier, figure out the kind of signals that women will throw at you that indicate that they're somewhat interested, but also become the kind of guy that women can be interested in. Because the more self-work you do, one, it's gonna better your life. Outside of the relationship stuff, you getting more fit, you having better social skills, you having more confidence will help you get better jobs, will help you get more money in, will open you up to more opportunities. And as you take those opportunities, you'll also start to build even more confidence, which, funny enough, women love confidence. So as you become a more confident guy, then women will start to like you more. And that's the thing too, is that I think so many men spend so much time trying to chase women and trying to figure out, well, what do I got to say, what I got to do? And they forget a big chunk of this is really fixing who you are into the kind of guy that women can't help but stay away from. So you focusing on your goals, your dreams, focusing on money, focusing on things that are going to allow you to be better stabilized in your life, focusing on getting a better apartment, better car, better whatever. Like, these are the things that when you have these, it's going to affect your self-esteem in terms of you feeling more confident in yourself and more comfortable and being more profound in who you are without being apologetic for it. And those are the kind of traits that when women see them, they're going to be like, oh my God, I now got to show him signals that I like him because he's got all the stuff that I want. He's a guy that's proficient. He's a guy that goes after what he wants. He seems to be a leader amongst men. He seems to be strong. He seems to be fit. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to do these things to make them come to you, which makes your dating game a lot easier. Because I always say, if they're chasing you, they can't be replacing you. So if you work on focusing on a few areas where you can become the key guy that you need to be confident and proficient in a various wide of things, then you'll find that your dating life gets easier. And that's what you want, because what you don't want to do is be those guys that's like, well, I'm an overweight, guy that doesn't really have a job and whatever, but women should like my personality, and I'm going to learn a few lines to get these women, out of their head and think about me, because that might work for like a short amount of time, but in the long term, if she doesn't really fall in love with who you are authentically and your personality and your skills and your drive, then they're not going to stay around. And so you need to do the work on yourself, one, to make sure that you are the kind of person women want, and then also work on learning what women actually want, learning how they communicate, learning what things they find attractive and not so attractive in the guys that they want to get with. So that way you'll know that when a woman is attracted to you and she comes over to you, you now know how to reciprocate in a way that shows her that it's not just a fluke that she saw you and was attracted, that you actually know what you're doing. You actually know how to handle women. You actually know how to be around them, how to be playful, how to be jovial, how to be a leader around them, how to make decisions. All these things. You might be doing things, something as simple as like asking a woman on a date, and then you're trying to ask her, well, what do you want to do? That is not going to turn a woman on. So you need to learn those various things, and then that's going to help you. And then lastly, underneath that, this woman left a comment that I thought was really, really good. And she's a woman that's been married for a few years, and she just went through the whole list. She said to this other guy, hey, don't feel like you're alone. A lot of guys are in the same boat with you, but I doubt many of them would be as honest about it as you are. Some suggestions: hit the gym and get fit. If you're skinny, put on some muscle mass. Always be well-groomed and well-dressed. On dressing well, do you know any women who are themselves well-dressed or have a husband who is well-dressed? If so, ask her to go shopping for clothes with you. They love it. This is absolutely true. A few years ago, as I was like in my mid to late 30s, I was like, man, I got all these t-shirts with like graphics and stuff on them and all these various things, but I want to really get more of a businessy look, or just a more like a more not upscale, just a more mature look. Because I'm like, realistically, I'm doing these videos for you guys. I'm coming on camera. I want to be able to project myself in a certain way that lets you guys know that, I am actually the advice that I'm giving actually holds weight. And I start to understand that part of me looking like an authority on all this stuff is how I dress. Because me coming on here on a raggedy t-shirt versus me in this collared shirt, it makes a difference in perception. And I recognize that. So yeah, I didn't know anything about that. So that same college friend that I had, she had a woman friend who I think was engaged or whatever, but she was a fashionista. And I said, hey, I will pay your friend X amount of money to take me out and just pick out some shirts and pants and say, hey, try this, because I'm not very good at knowing what's going to work on my body outside of like the color blue. I love the color blues and grays, And so yeah, I paid her. She took me out. I got a bunch of shirts. And from that one experience, I was able to kind of get an idea of other types of fashion that would work, that would make me look more mature, but still make me feel like my authentic self, okay? And so that might be a thing you got to do. She says, if she says it looks good on you, then you buy it. No talk, no back talk. I had to do the same thing. Like, are you sure about this? Okay, yeah, I'll take it. She says, don't try to date out of your league. If you're an average looking guy, forget the beauty queens. They are likely to be selfish and entitled. So that part I don't fully agree on, because what I do feel is that you don't have to have a lot of money to date women that are attractive in tens, but you do need to have social skills, etiquette, and know how to like maintain yourself in those various environments. If you don't, then yeah, don't go for the top tier. But when you learn the skills and you learn what women are going to throw at you to indicate that they're interested, then you can go after those kind of girls, and you'll have the confidence to back up that you know that you're good enough for her. Continuing, she says, don't waste time in bars or clubs. I agree. Women aren't there to meet men. They are there for the chase. If you want to meet women, take some classes at a community college where women make up the majority of students. She said, I took a watercolor class at UCLA Extension specifically for this reason. A female to male ratio, 25 females, 5 males. Any co-ed athletic leagues in your area, get used to, she's asked that question. So yeah, and I've said this before too, like join various classes, do paint nights, do cooking classes where like women are more likely to show up than guys are, where you can see you'll be able to meet somebody in a place where you guys already have an activity in common, which makes the opening up for conversation a lot easier. Then she says, get used to rejection. We all get it, lots of it. Don't get angry or depressed. Just tell yourself next and move on. Hang in there and good luck. Yeah, ultimately, if you're legitimately not getting any women to show you any kind of interest, part of that also means that you're not doing enough to go out there and get rejected. And I've told you guys before, you need to run towards rejection. Like we're so afraid, like we want the woman to come to us because we don't want to risk looking like a fool if we try to ask her out and she says no, or we try to present an idea to her because we want her to tell us the idea she wants us to do, because if she doesn't like it, she's going to run. Dude, you need to have the opposite. You need to run headfirst into rejection. If you're only getting rejected like once a week by a woman, you're not doing enough. You need to be on dating apps, getting rejected by a bevy of women, going out to various classes or various meetup groups and trying to shoot your shot and getting rejected and rejected and rejected. Because it's not even about the rejection. It's about the fact that as you do that more, rejection will bug you less to where you can actually have more fun when you're talking to women and asking them out. Because when you're in your shell and you're nervous, you're like, I'm afraid of rejection. Then when you go up to women and you're like putting all this like effort and energy and you're putting all this pressure onto this one ask having to be the one that works out, because if it doesn't, you're going to be devastated. Versus if you just say, look, my goal tonight, I've done this before too, my goal tonight is to get 10 rejections, ready and go. And now your brain switches to where now the game is you're purposely trying to say and do things to get rejected. You go up to a woman and you just say whatever. It's not even like a pickup line. You're just trying to say some random stuff and thinking it's going to get a rejection. And you're going to find out one of those crazy things that you say actually gets the woman interested and she wants to go out with you. When I was in college, my sophomore year, I was like, you know what? I got to stop being afraid of women. No, sorry, my junior year. I got to stop being afraid of asking women out on dates. You know what? And I did this. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just do this random idea. I'm going to start asking out female friends of mine, and I'm going to do it knowing full well they're going to say no. And so I'd go up to one and say, hey, so, you know, I'm just trying to get practice asking women out on dates. So, like, I wanted to see, like, you go on a date with me. I think the first girl I asked was like, oh, thanks, but I'm seeing somebody, yada, yada, yada. Okay, fine. So I go up to the next person. Hey, so, you know, we're friends. I need some practice in dating. So I just wanted to know if I could take you out on a date. And she was like, yeah. And I did that to like 2 other women friends of mine, and they all said yes. And I really thought I was going in like, I'm gonna get rejected. But going in with rejection, I didn't have this pressure of like, this has to be a yes, because I didn't think I was gonna get a yes. But because I was going to them with no pressure, I was being jovial about it. Hey, I wanna take you out, blah, blah, blah. It worked out. And so at that point, it's like, oh crap. The fact that they said yes to the date, again, in hindsight, means that they were now showing me signals that they might have been interested, because I realized that women don't have to say yes to dates. Women are more than welcome to say, I don't want to go, or say maybe, and then flake. So the fact that these women just said yes, they didn't give me any excuses. They didn't say, well, are we just going as friends? Like, they all just said yes. I was like, oh crap. Like, and even then, I didn't get it. But now I understand, like, that was a signal that let me know that there's some interest in there on their part too. So you got to put the work in. You got to ask them out. You got to face rejection. And if you're not getting enough women showing you interest, it just means you're not going out there talking to enough women and getting enough rejections. As you do that more, then that'll help you. And also, like this woman said, like I said, work on yourself. See what areas of your life you can improve yourself for you. Improve yourself for you in the ways you make money, in the ways that your health is, whether you're extremely skinny or kind of big and need to lose weight or gain weight or muscle or whatever. But like, do these things to improve your life. And you will find as you improve your life, women will start to notice that and they'll start to come to you. So hopefully, guy, this helps you out. For the rest of you, if you need help, you can go to introvertdatingsuccess.com and sign up for a one-on-one coaching session, or you can join the Introvert Dating Success Membership Academy, where we have a bunch of lessons that'll teach you how to meet, greet, attract, land, keep, and ultimately end up with the woman of your dreams. If that's something that interests you, at the website. Lastly, guys, my pal Nan Juan's got an album coming out of funny, hilarious songs called No Girls For You. It's the soundtrack to my best-selling ebook, No Girls For You, The Ultimate Guide to Losing the Girl of Your Dreams. And it's about my buddy Nan Juan's pitfalls and the ins and outs of the dating world at large. You listen to the first single of that called Tongue Tied, which is now available on all streaming platforms, which you can find at the link below, and the album comes out on February 10th, so look out for that, all right? Thank you guys for watching. I'm Harry Wilmington. If you found this helpful, do me a favor also. Hey, you can leave a nice little cash app as a monetary thank you for all this wonderful advice that I give to you for free, all right? I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. I'm out. Peace.
When I see a hot girl, my tongue gets twirled.